All right, welcome traders. It is Monday, April 22, 2024. What a bounce day today the markets had. All that hand wringing last week. All the markets are going to zero and my buying power is at 150% and I can't trade and it's set to closing only and all these problems that everybody had last week, poof, gone in just a few hours today. So great day up in the markets. For us, fantastic. Might have been our greatest trading gain day of the year so far, but great day. But it's simply just a bounce. We're still in a bit of a bearish trend on all the major indexes. So I'm not saying that this is the all clear. However, it was a bounce that was pretty much expected by just about everybody. So no surprise today. Everybody expected that we would bounce, and we did. The question is going to be, what's going to happen tomorrow or potentially the rest of this week? There are a lot of earnings coming out this week. So you've got some big name tech stocks, some of the Magnificent Seven reporting this week, a lot of big names out there. So earnings full swing. We'll see if that does anything to the market. It really won't be as much the earnings that we're going to be looking at. It's going to be listening to a little bit of the guidance on things. You saw just some big moves today, up and down for most part. So really good stuff for us. Pretty much everything we had was up nicely today. So I want to jump into there. So let's share and jump into this. Let me get me off the screen so you don't have to look at me while we're doing this. And let's just get into some of the charts and what we're seeing. So overall on ES today, markets ran up pretty heavily. Let's get the fib levels off here so you guys can see a little bit better. But overall, pretty nice update today. Finished up 45 points, about 0.9%. You would have thought the markets went up 600 points today, but really it was just a 45-point day. In fact, the markets finished well off their highs of the day. That is a no bueno for me. So the bulls pushed it up, but they couldn't keep it up. So sounds like a problem for the bulls potentially. If we're looking at the weekly trend here, I mean, obviously this weekly trend is down, everything falling. If we're looking at the daily trend, everything is down. Got a little blip today. We crossed the 3 ATR with a nice hammer candle on Friday, and then simply had a nice bounce off of the 3 ATR, but finished off of the highs. Couldn't quite get to the PSAR dot here, which would have flipped us to a bullish PSAR. So we're still bearish on all time frames. So right now, this is still a bearish trend with just a one-day blip. Now, it's a nice reversal. And if we get any more follow through tomorrow, that's going to be even better. So we're looking for some potential follow through tomorrow to show us that maybe we're going to get a bounce, but I don't know that that bounce is going to be a whole lot more than getting back to the 21 EMA here on the daily and then potentially just tipping over a little bit more. But on the weekly, we held the 21 at the end of last week and we're bouncing off the 21-day moving average. So good stuff on the weekly, but right now everything's still bearish. I'm not all that positive on this move going a whole lot farther. Let's jump into oil and see what happened to oil. And oil is just getting beat up hard. So the last 2 weeks, oil has been in a hard sell-off, which is interesting considering all of the tensions in the Middle East between Iran and Israel and lobbing a couple missiles here and lobbing a couple drones there. And overall, a big pile of nothingness from the market when it comes to what's going on in the Middle East. Market didn't seem to care. It sold off on oil either way. Now, you had a big spike on Friday on it, but then we finished at the low of the day. And then today, just some sideways action. So oil didn't really do anything, pretty much a sideways day. If you're looking at the internals, things are looking a little bit weaker, but you're still in an uptrend on the weekly and on the daily. We held the 50 EMA. And nothing cratered today. And we finished off the lows with a nice hammer candle. I think this is a nice pullback area for oil here. So just looking at the candle pattern, Okay, I don't know that the weekly is something to put my hat on, but this hammer candle on the daily, I think this looks pretty nice after a big indecision day on Friday. You are in a bearish trend. Anything here would still be just a bounce in a bearish trend on the daily, but the weekly's bullish. So a little yin and yang here. And I think the one thing that I like is I like the strangle opportunity. You are near the 21-day moving average on the weekly, which is my trigger, is the weekly. So I love the fact that we're near the 21 EMA on the weekly. And I love the fact that RSI is at 54. And we know, according to a lot of our back tests and my trading methodologies, that, hey, if I'm in between the 40 and the 60, that's a pretty good spot for us to put on some strangles, and we're right at the 21. So I just need more buying power, and we can get in. So I like where oil is here. Gold, this was one interesting one today. Gold just dropping hard on the session, 3 percentage points down. Now, looking at the weekly, bullish trend looks pretty strong, but it is overbought. Looking at the daily trend here, huge down candle, but we triggered a bearish PSAR a week ago. Sideways action. But during that same sideways action, RSI was diverging lower. It wasn't moving up with some of these spikes on the day. Squeeze was tipping over. MACD, you could see the momentum was coming out of the gold move. And you got a big move to the downside today. I've been hesitant to trade gold for a while, as long as we remain above the 3 ATR level. I just thought it was just moving way too far, too fast. And there's really no good trades for that. You put a bullish trade on in an overbought situation and it reverses, you're going to lose. You put a bearish trade on, okay, you're fighting the trend, which is bullish. Okay, so that's not really going to work. You put a strangle on in a pretty strong volatility move, and that's not a great play either. So I like the pullback that we're seeing here today. No trades yet on gold, but I love the pullback. We got to give this thing another day or so and see what happens. Bonds. Bonds are interesting in here as well. So on bonds, okay, you can see that the weekly trend has been bearish. Okay, MACD, RSI, squeeze momentum, it's all trading down. Okay. But on the daily, when we zoom in, and even on the weekly, you can see the 618 is where we've been holding. And we have been holding now for 5 straight sessions right on this 618 line. And what you've seen is Friday, and now today we have this bullish PSAR signal. MACD's improving. RSI is holding its own. Okay? And the squeeze, we got a yellow reversal candle today. Now, one candle does not make a reversal trend. However, I do love the way this thing looks in here right now. I want to be long bonds. Okay? Doesn't mean this downtrend on the weekly is over, but we've got a little bit of a bullish trend starting on the daily. Some yin and yang here. I think also on any little bit more of a move up, I think strangles in this territory are not a bad thing either. I'd like to see a little bit more price improvement for strangles, but I think 112 trades, naked puts, ratio spreads, I think all of those are fair game for bonds, and we're going to be playing some of those. Copper is the new gold. Copper rallying to the upside, strong weekly trend, strong daily trend. You've had a couple opportunities on copper here, but not many. It's really been almost all up days. You've only had, counting today, which was a fractionally lower day today, you've only had 4 up days really in the last, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 days, something like that. So very few opportunities to chase this thing to the upside, which you would never chase. It's the same thing as gold. You can't really put something bullish on when you're sitting way outside the 3 ATR and you're overbought. Can't put something bearish on because this thing can continue to move and stay overbought. It's been overbought for a long time on the daily. I think reversal and pullback is necessary. If we get another pullback on this thing, I think it sets up for a 112 trade as well. NASDAQ, same thing as SPY today, or the ES. You had a nice little reversal candle here on the MACD. You held up on this previous support level almost perfectly. So held support, bouncing off of that. I like the way the NASDAQ looks here. It's had a really rough pullback. We should know we got stopped out of a couple naked puts on this pretty big, massive move last week, which was just a horrific move for the NASDAQ, but it got overdone and now been potentially holding it. I'm not sold. We're bearish weekly, bearish daily. This can go down further. So I really don't want to do a whole lot with that. Let's take a look at RTY. And if we're jumping in on RTY here, you can see we are in a bearish trend on the weekly. We are in a bearish trend on the daily. However, the daily, MACD is trying to reverse. RSI is trying to reverse. It's bouncing off the 3 ATR, and we are fractionally away from 2000, which is a bullish PSAR reversal. I'm going to guess that unless tomorrow is a pretty bad down day, this has some legs for a bounce here. I think you could be looking at an RTY nice bounce off of the 50 EMA here on the weekly. And then I also think this bounce off the 200-day and this huge hammer type of candle, a little bit of a dragonfly doji hammer candle combination here, reversal pattern, reversal follow through today. Now this thing could be off to the races, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then we also had a nice day on our Aussie dollar, as I was corrected by someone on YouTube. So I didn't like the way I was saying the Aussie dollar, even though it is the Australian dollar futures. They want me to say Aussie, so I got to say Aussie. If that's the if that's the most you get out of my videos, I guess that's fine. So of all the videos I give, that's the takeaway, is I didn't say Aussie. But anyway, on the Aussie dollar here, reversal candle on the weekly looks pretty decent, even though we're in bearish trends on both, and a reversal candle here on the daily. I think this is setting up for a nice potential swing move to the upside. I'd like to see a little bit more of a push up towards the 2150, a little pullback, and then the next leg higher. We'll see if that happens, but I think the Aussie dollar looks pretty good. Quick look at sectors today. Most everything was green. Can't find a red sector anywhere. Semiconductors up 4%. Not hard, considering they have been just absolutely decimated. What's interesting is KRE. This is your regional banks. This is looking pretty solid for a swing move here. If you're swing trading it, I think this is an interesting play here. And really what I want to watch is this downtrend. So I'm going to extend this downtrend out. Not so worried about this previous support. This isn't a whole lot of nothingness now. But this downtrend line that we've had, because we are in this bearish trend here on the weekly, you break this to the upside, I think this thing has some pop in it. So I like the regional banks, and I also like financials. Nice reversal, PSAR bullish signal today. This thing looks pretty solid. So there's some nice looking sectors here, of which not your normal tech sectors. That's not where things look good. Where things are looking good are some of the defensive and other names out here, but I think financials could be leading us around here. And I think on the biotechs here, oops, getting a little deeper here on the weekly. I think on the biotechs here, I think this is certainly interesting to take a look at. You're holding the 200 MA right around the 3 ATR. Okay. Squeeze is getting a little extended. You are oversold. I like XBI. I like biotech here. And there's a couple biotech plays I think you could certainly get into. So if you're looking at some of the stocks, I think there's things to get into. So let's take a look. Apple trying to hold support here, trying to hold and move its way higher. It's been hanging in there okay. Microsoft, it's just trying to not die completely. Amazon holding the 50 EMA, doesn't look fantastic. Meta doesn't look fantastic still. Google, bearish weekly or bearish daily, but bullish weekly. I still think this thing's bullish overall. I like the fact that this has held up great. And if this market's moving back up at all, I think Google is your play. Keep an eye on Google. NVIDIA, it's just trying not to die in here. And then Tesla, it just continues to worsen. So you're heading into earnings on Tesla. We'll see what happens on Tesla. So there's some other stocks to take a look at. I think Coin, not looking too shabby here. I like where Coin is. We'll keep an eye on Coin as we go. In fact, if I'm looking at my active trading account, had a great day today. We moved up pretty well. And Coin certainly leading the way today. Big gainer in Coin. So we're long Coin, we're long Adobe, and we're long Costco. So those are our 3 live plays in the active trader service that we run. So not the Income Navigator, where we're trading a lot of the premium selling, medium term, intermediate term, longer term strategies that I come back with you daily. But the active trader, that's your scalping, some day trades. I don't do any day trading, but I also do a lot of swing trades in there. And I really like some of the things that I'm seeing in the market. So I think there's some good looking charts out there. So I think keep an eye on things and look at some of the biotechs. Look at Pfizer here and look at the dailies. Okay. Really starting to bounce. Look at Pfizer. Look at AbbVie. It's already really been bouncing. Okay. Moderna, nice candle pattern today. So I think there's J&J, really nice bounce. Good reversal on J&J. I also really like McDonald's here, bouncing off the trend line, bouncing bullish PSAR signal, breaking the 21 today. Love McDonald's. Okay. I wish I would have played it today. I did not. And then I also really like Schwab because those financials are starting to lead the way. Now, I hate Schwab from a trading platform because I think they're just destroying TOS for traders like us that are trading options on futures. They've made a mess. I don't know that TOS can recover from this. And from what I'm hearing from a lot of traders is that there was some pretty big buying power changes made over the weekend, hurting some of the traders trading options on futures. It may have been across the board, and it may not. It may be the exchanges and not the brokers who are just passing that along. But I still think from an investment banking standpoint, okay, and a commercial banking standpoint, and an investment strategy standpoint, Schwab is one of the best plays out there. You're breaking this ascending triangle to the upside. I like Schwab. I think that's a great trade in here as well. All right, so there's a good number of things. And then Goldman Sachs just having a banner day today. So Goldman, huge move on the session. So there's a lot of things out there that are very interesting. A lot of the big name techs still look bad, still are bearish. Just because they stopped for one day doesn't mean there's a big turnaround coming. We could get a couple day bounce and then just a continuation pattern. That's what I'm at least looking for right now, but we'll trade what we see because no sense guessing what we're doing. Just trade the trend and trade what we're seeing. And right now, the trend is down on most of these tech stocks. In fact, I don't know of anything that doesn't have a bearish trend daily, bearish trend weekly, okay, except for Google, which is bullish weekly. And even though it's bearish daily, it's not that bearish. And everything else is pretty doggone just ugly out there. Costco selling gold bars. In fact, Costco, last month, I believe Costco, $200 million in gold sales. They sold gold bars at Costco. So I don't know if that's right next to the, gallon of mayonnaise or the tub of chips that you can buy there. I don't know where the gold bars are. Yes, I know you can buy them online, folks. Okay. $200 million in gold bar sales at Costco. China bought 400 million in gold last month. So Costco members are buying almost as much gold as China, who led the world in gold buys. All right, so Costco leading the gold revolution here. What's next? They're going to start selling copper somewhere. Who knows? But anyway, there's where we are. Let's jump into our platform and take a look at our trading for today. And today, we finished with a 562 delta, well back inside the 0.2% range. We didn't have to do anything. We just let the markets do their thing. We didn't get panicking. We didn't get way outside of our delta. Yeah, it was outside, but really, delta doesn't drive my decisions. Okay, it's just something we watch. Okay, theta 1485. Okay, and so you're giving back a little bit today on theta, but that's mainly because VIX dropped 10% all the way down to 1694. So VIX back to being dead again, losing some volatility. Our theta is still okay. It's not the worst. It could be, but a lot of theta came out. Net lick, though, cranked today, $14,000 to the upside. That's a huge day for us. So $14,000, almost a 3% day in the account. Okay. Almost a it might have been a little bit more than a 3% day. On a day that the markets went up, not quite 1%, we booked 3%. So loving where we are, back to 473, just a little bit of net lick fluctuation, and that's all good. We don't concern ourselves too much with the net lick as long as our trading is going along according to plan. All right, buying power dropped to 297. Which brought us down with Bill down to about 52.8%. So we're almost there. We could technically be putting some trades on. I won't add trades over 60%. Okay, so 60% is a no-go. The upper 50s, it's under 60. It's something I could do. I really don't want to do it, so I haven't added anything. But if we continue to stay down here in the low 50s or drop even a little bit more tomorrow, we'll be in good shape. Overall, P&L for the year, 12%, and we're not even done with the third month. Okay, 12%, and then we're also sitting on 11% in net lick. Okay, so we're really right on target for our 3% a month in not only realized gains, but it's just dragging our net lick along with it. 11, almost 12%. The S&P, 5.7%. Us, 11.2%. Smoking the S&P by a 200% factor. All right, so doing all good in here. We've got some trades coming up. We also took a look at some of our strategy down here. We did some training on this with the members. I also put that member training video out for everybody else, so for free. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. You can see a piece inside what we do with the members. And we spent today talking about investing versus trading. Okay? And I want to just end on that point with you today. Investing, trading. What's the difference? Investing typically for the long term. It's a little bit more of the buy and hold strategy most of the time for investing. And you're looking at capital appreciation, maybe dividends, that to just grow the nest egg. Okay, investing long-term horizon. Trading, though, okay, with our trading account, that's a lot more active. Okay, we're looking for price movement primarily. Okay, we're not so concerned with price movement in the investment side. We're looking for capital appreciation, which is price movement, but over time. Okay, on the trading side, we're looking for shorter-term price movement to continue to go our way. I'm looking at trends. We're trend trading. We're trend trading methodology here. If the trend is up, okay, and staying bullish, we're in good shape. If the trend is flat, we can be selling strangles. Okay, so we're looking at potentially the overall trends, the market internals, but what we're doing is we're letting our trades and our strategies be dictated by what we're seeing and not vice versa. Okay, we're not just sticking something in there and thinking it's going to go up over time. Okay, we're in for a period of time. Now, my time period is typically going to be about 60 or 30 to 120 days. Now, I don't put on many 30-day trades, but most of my trades will come off in about 30 days, and then the rest of them will come off in about 90 days. Okay, so between that 30 and 90-day period is when most of my trades will come off. So pretty excited about the bounce that we had today. But overall, we didn't get tested last week. We lost some trades. Fine. Our buying power stayed totally fine, stayed in the lower end of our ranges. We didn't have to make any moves on buying power at all. We never made it over 70 something for the whole week. And we have a large portfolio. Even our small portfolios really didn't see much of a volatility move on our, or impact on our buying power, because we've been diversified on what we're selling, and we've also been pretty good at keeping our buying power under control to begin with, so that these things don't come back and bite you later on when you get a pretty big drop like we've had the last couple of weeks. It was only a 6-7% drop, and you would have thought that the world was ending. You would have thought it was a 20% drop, black swan event. It was 6% or 7% in like 3 weeks. Okay. If you think that's a lot, wait till we get 10% in 3 weeks. Okay? This downtrend may not be over. It could simply just a bounce today, a 0.9% or 1% today. Maybe tomorrow we get another percent, and then we go back down another 5% or something from here. Okay? I don't really care. I'm just going to trade what I see. I don't really pay attention to the news. We're focused on putting on the probabilities that'll work for us. What strategies give us the best probability to be successful? But what's the difference between investing and trading? And really, for you as a trader out there, if trading is where you want to be, and that's what we do, is trade. We're not really here to invest and look at capital appreciation and dividends. No, I want to trade my way to wealth, and we've been doing that pretty good. We've got a great service to do that as well in our Discord channel. We want to create really good, consistent traders that have a consistent, repeatable, and mechanical strategy that keeps you consistently winning and trading without emotion, because you have a plan. But the two things you really got to consider here is, what's your risk? Okay. And what's your risk tolerance, and what are your goals, and do they align? And what we found out this week was, for many people, those things didn't align for you. You can go watch the other video on the live training. I'll get into that more there. Go ahead and watch that. But does risk tolerance and does your goals align? Well, my goal is 5% a month. 5% a month is crazy high. Okay. For some people on YouTube, you're doing it every day. Yeah. Okay. I'm talking, for me, 1.5% a month, 18% a year. That beats almost every fund, every hedge fund, and in the market almost every year. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, if you're going to go to 2%, which is 24% a year, okay, and think of the compounding that's going to give you. Okay, you're now beating pretty much everybody that's out there. Okay, you're in the top 1%. Okay, of traders at 2%. That's adding a little bit more risk to get to that. You want to go to 3% where we are, okay? I feel that that's a decent amount more risk. Now, I feel comfortable with that amount of risk because my risk tolerance and that goal of 3% makes sense. Okay? But if you experienced some volatility last week in your buying power in your account, and it made you nervous, and you were trying to tune into the futures after 6 o'clock every night to see what was going to do, and you were panicking in and out of futures, and you can't get away from your screen, okay? You need to really rethink your trading plan, because you're too aggressive, you're trading too big, and your goal doesn't align with your risk tolerance. If you have a low risk tolerance, your goals have to come down in alignment with that. Simple as that. Come and join us. Put a trading plan together. We'll help you with the strategies, the plan itself, how to manage, how to actively trade in there, and put you in a community of like-minded people where you're going to learn something every single day. You're going to be a 300% better trader by the end of the year than you are today. Come and join us. See you in the Discord. Everybody take care. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.